welcome to the 80sist, the podcast that uses your vote to determine the most totally legendary 80s thing. Since the breakdancing we tried so desperately to do at school dances in 1986 and 87 and anyway, in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Keith Marsteller, and joining me from Seattle, Washington, it's the creator of the 80sist, my longtime friend and co-host, and he could robot better than goddamn C-3PO. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Joe Wack. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Keith. So I wanted to take some time this evening to discuss a very 80s thing that I think we had in common.
Yeah.
And that is Jolt Cola.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Jolt Cola. Yeah.
So for the youngins out there, can you remind us what Jolt Cola was?
Okay, so Jolt was, in fact, a kind of a Coke, Pepsi, taste-alike type of a deal. But its claim to fame, its marketing, its lightning bolt on the case was, the whole point of it was, it allegedly had twice the caffeine of any pop you've ever had, or maybe more than twice. And it was gonna jolt you and keep you awake for days if you needed it.
That's right.
That's my recollection.
On the label, in fact, it said all the sugar and twice the caffeine.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so it did claim, and
it made that claim.
Yeah, it may have delivered. I never saw like a laboratory thing on it.
Yeah.
But we used to do stuff when I was forced to be in a church youth group where they'd take you to like a YMCA and lock you in, like an overnight lock-in type situation. Yeah. And I would bring a little cooler with like 3 or 4 jolts in it and like play basketball, racquetball, run laps. I mean, I would just go all night. People would start like going and laying down to watch movies and falling asleep. And I'm just out there just cranking laps on Jolt. And I would never sleep, and the chaperones probably fucking hated me. What is your recollection of Jolt? When did you do Jolt?
I have a very specific memory of failing a driver's test and then making myself feel better by grabbing a Jolt.
Awesome.
I didn't drink it all the time, but I definitely drank it whenever I could.
Oh, hell yeah. Now, this is a great one. I think there will be a lot of listeners that have some kind of experiential reference point with Jolt. I drank Jolt Cola with a listener and friend, John Bedwell, when we were laying in line overnight to get Van Halen tickets. And we were laying in a parking lot outside a Ticketmaster window, and a newspaper truck almost backed over our bodies at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was, yeah. We were awake, though, because of Jolt Cola.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah. Good.
So Jolt saved your life.
Yeah, and we got kick-ass Van Halen tickets, so, at Blossom.
Nice. Because
of Jolt Cola.
It did so much for us, man.
That's awesome. So, did you drink Jolt going on into college or anything, or was it more of a?
No, I think by then I had switched probably to Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yes, and then later Diet Mountain Dew would be your dark mistress, right? So,
that's right.
Oh man,
for a long time until finally I kicked that habit, and then tried drinking it years later and was like, oh my God. This is revolting.
Oh, good. So you had a kind of a negative reaction to it instead of like a falling back into the old habits type reaction.
Yeah, I was in my 30s and I was like, we were driving to Ohio late, and I was like, I need some caffeine. Well, let's get some Diet Mountain Dew. And I'm like, oh my God, this tastes like fucking battery acid.
Oh, man. Well, that was a good one, Joe. I enjoyed reminiscing about Jolt Cola and how everybody, like me without caffeine, can get super fucking annoying the later it gets at night. Me with twice the caffeine. I would not have wanted to be a chaperone for me back then, that's for sure. Like right now, if I chaperoned a kid like me then, I would fucking hate him. I'm sure of it. Yeah. I mean, you're in that position as a dad, like you probably chaperone stuff all the time, and
I mean, we do the day camp that we do every summer. They have an overnight, and I usually have been dragooned into staying there, and kids who stay up late just piss me off.
There you go. That's it. That was me. I feel like I owe a debt to so many people from my childhood, but oh well. Anyway, so welcome back to the 80s-ist, everyone.
Welcome back.
Joe, today's our 19th show of season 3. We're really getting into it.
It's 19.
That's
19.
Right. That's right. Paul Hardcastle, I think, right? With 19.
That's right.
Yeah, an 80s
The
classic.
average age of the soldier in Vietnam was 19.
That's right. I think it's to contrast it. World War II, it was 21 or something. And Vietnam
Something like
was
that,
19.
yeah.
Today on our 19th show of season 3, we're going to match up the Michael Jackson region's behemoth 3 seed against an extreme underdog 14 seed in the Tale of the Tape. Fight!
2 songs enter, 1 song leaves.
It's the Tale of the Tape. He's out!
Our number 3 seed is Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran.
Oh, yeah.
Off of their 1982 album Rio. Hungry Like the Wolf peaked at number 3 on March 26, 1983, remaining 23 weeks on the chart. It won the Grammy Award for Best Short-Form Music Video, which, when we talk about this later, wow. It was the first video to ever win that award, and it was given to Duran Duran as a joint award for Hungry Like the Wolf together with Girls on Film. MTV named Hungry Like the Wolf the 15th most played video of the network and was 11th on the Century and MTV 100 Greatest Videos Ever Made.
So very 80s sounding with the whole MTV kind of tie-in, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, our challenger today is 14 seed Veronica by Elvis Costello from his 1989 album Spike. One note about Veronica that is it was co-written by someone you may have heard of, Paul McCartney. Hello. Veronica was Costello's highest charting top 40 hit in the United States, peaking at number 19. But it also was number 1 on the Hot Modern Rock Tracks chart and number 10 on the regular mainstream rocks chart. So this song crossed over all over the place.
Yeah.
From pop to regular rock to modern rock. Just an overall massively popular song. And I can see why, because it's a great fucking song. But it did win the MTV Video Music Award for Best Male Video in 1989. So it has, a little bit of award season there. We don't know like Grammys or anything, but hey. All right, well, I'm going to play these back to back, and we're going to start with Hungry Like the Wolf. Cut it after I hear these drums. All right. And now here's a bite-sized piece of the song Veronica by Elvis Costello.
pretty little hair of yours. What goes on in that place in the dark? Well, I used to know a girl and I could have sworn that her name was Veronica. Well, she used to have a carefree mind of her own and a delicate look in her eye. These days I'm afraid she's not even sure if her name was Veronica. Do you suppose that waves in hands are eyes Veronica doesn't count her hiding all the time she laughs and rolls and shouts her name and steals her clothes. Veronica, Veronica.
All right, I guess I better stop this one before we go into another verse chorus cycle. But there we go. Those are the two back to back. And now let's make the case for why these guys are here. And Joe, it's another Who's to Blame That You Will Not Remember recording. So here we go.
Almost
Joe,
certainly not.
that song is like Circus Peanuts candy. People only know it because they hate it.
Keith, making someone listen to that song is a violation of the Geneva Convention.
There you go.
All right.
We're breaking them all out. I think there is actually one left that we have not heard.
Oh, man. All right.
So,
all right.
We'll play
Maybe
that
in our
one,
next show.
Yeah, we'll play that next week. And
All right.
all right, Joe. So why don't you start us off? Yeah.
All right. So our number 3 seed, Duran Duran, is the 10th overall seed out of 64, so pretty high up. I had these guys coming in at 16. Keith, you had them at 10.
Yep.
So joint responsibility,
Pretty
but
close.
slightly Keith
Just
more.
a few more notches. Yeah.
Yeah. These guys had 12 top 40 hits in the 80s, not counting Power Station, Arcadia, and solo projects.
Or that weird
Duran's-
Christmas. Do They Know It's Christmas song? They're in that one too.
Anyway, let's not count that one.
Yeah.
Duran Duran's incredible 1983-84 run, where they had 5 U.S. top 20 hits from 4 different albums in a single year due to re-releases and a live album. So here's what they had.
It's really fucked up, Joe. So I put them in the order they hit.
Okay.
But you'll see like that the years aren't chronological because they were like, oh, now we're popular. Let's re-release Duran Duran. Oh, we're popular. Let's re-release Rio. And so they get hits from Rio, Duran Duran, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, and Arena all in the same 365-day period.
Wow.
Now, please, Joe, give us these, what is it, 12 top 40 hits?
12 top 40 hits. Here we go.
Okay.
So in 1981, they hit number 26 with Planet Earth off of Duran Duran.
All right. Yeah,
In 82, they had Hungry Like the Wolf, which we just heard off
Right.
of Rio, which hit number 3. The same year, the title track off of Rio hit number 14.
My name is Rio and she dances on the sand. Just like that river twisting through a dusty land.
And then in 83, they re-released Duran Duran, and Is There Something I Should Know hit number 4.
Tell me now, is there something I should know? Is there something
Off of that same re-release in 83, Girls on Film reached number 30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also in 83, Seven and the Ragged Tiger produced Union of the Snake, which reached number 3. It also produced number 10 hitting New Moon on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Last time, La Luna, I let my torch and wave it for the new moon on Monday. Under fire.
As well as number 1 hit, The Reflex.
Oh, yeah. Wow. This was a massive, massive hit.
Oh, yeah.
Is a lonely child who's waiting by the pole.
In 84 as well, they had Arena, their live album, which produced the number 2 hit, The Wild Boys.
and then the drums. Yeah.
Ooh. And then a re-release of Rio
Yeah.
launched Save a Prayer to number 16. And then 80s listeners from way back will recognize A View to a Kill from 1985 from the James Bond movie of the same name, which reached number 1.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me just go straight to the end. And let's
then
not forget
finally,
this.
1986,
Let's not
they
forget
reached
this,
number-
though, Joe. All right, there you go. Sorry. 1986.
1986, they hit number 7 with Notorious, off of Notorious.
That gasp is classic.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, and then I will fade this under while you discuss the
Let's
rest
talk
of their
about their
resume.
awards, man.
Yeah.
84, they won the Grammy for Best Video Album. Also, the Best Video Short Form for Girls on Film
Yep.
/ Hungry Like the Wolf. In 86, they were nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Original Song for A View to a Kill. In 2003, they got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the VMAs.
Yeah.
They have sold over 100 million records and had 21 top 40 singles in the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. And in 2022, they got in the Rock Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so that's a big resume from those guys.
Pretty big.
Obviously, everybody listening knows Duran Duran.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, of course. How could if you weren't alive in the 80s, you would not know them. But
Maybe.
it made a big impression, and every girl I dated and every girl had been friends with from that era either had Duran Duran posters or had seen them in concert. Or my first date with my now wife, Marcia, on the drive home from Cedar Point, we listened to her copy of Seven and the Ragged Tiger. So, like, I did not have Duran Duran albums, but,
You were surrounded by them.
surrounded by them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, why don't you give us the lowdown on our challenger?
Okay, so number 14 seed Elvis Costello is 55 overall out of our 64. I had him ranked 44th. Keith did not rank him, so this is 100% my responsibility.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Despite his critical acclaim and influence on new wave and punk music, Elvis Costello was not a major pop chart presence in America during the 80s. He had 2 top 40 hits in the entire decade. He did have a big hit in Pump It Up in 1978, but it did not chart in the U.S.
Right, you remember this one, right? This is a fun one.
He did chart with 1983's Every Day I Write the Book, which reached number 36.
And I think we heard this one in the college radio episode.
And then the song that we're talking about today, his biggest hit, reached number 19 in 89. It's Veronica.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a ton of hits on the pop charts, but that doesn't tell the whole story, Joe.
That's true.
What else have you got for Elvis?
Well, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, that's his original band, were inducted into the Rock Hall in 2003. He was also later inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2016. He got a Grammy nomination in 1979, but he lost. And then 20 years later got more nominations and 2 Grammy wins in the 2000s and beyond.
So, I've said, like, I don't necessarily think I didn't rank him. I wouldn't have put him in my Legends of the 80s, but using your criteria, I get why you did. But those credentials, I mean, he's a very serious legend in music overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like whether he's a legend of the 80s is debatable, and we'll debate that here in just a few moments. But, I mean, Songwriters Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like, this isn't, Sly Fox.
No.
You know what I mean? So, well, let's find out how we feel about these particular songs.
That's the way it has to be, 'cause that's the way I like it.
I gotta be honest. This song fucking blows, Joe.
That's the way it has to be, 'cause that's the way I like it.
All right. Well, we're talking about Duran Duran 3-seed, Hungry Like the Wolf. Joe, like, dislike? Tell me how you feel.
I like this song a lot. I have very fond memories of it. I would not skip this. I like it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the song, bigger fan of some other songs, and I probably would have voted Reflex for even more 80s-ishness.
Yep.
Or one of the other ones from Seven and the Ragged Tiger. But regardless, yes, I very much like Hungry Like the Wolf.
Okay. What about Veronica?
Now, see, Joe, Veronica is a really fucking great song. That's a top tier song for me, whereas Hungry Like the Wolf entertains me. Veronica makes me feel shit. Like, I really, really like that song. What about you? I love this song.
I adore this song. It is not my favorite Elvis Costello song, but it is the song that got me into Elvis Costello.
Yeah, I can
which
see
we'll
that.
talk about later. And I'm a big fan.
Will we find out what your favorite Elvis Costello song is?
I mean, possibly.
Okay, because then I could play it.
All right.
Is your favorite Elvis Costello song from the 80s or from the 90s or the 70s, or do you not?
Probably from the 70s.
Okay, we'll figure it out. All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to start discussing what we're going to say about these two songs.
All right, fight on it.
But it's all positive all the time for us about these two particular songs. So probably a lot of good things will be said. And let's start it off with 3-seed, Hungry Like the Wolf. Joe, what do you want to say about this?
Well, so you know how sometimes there's like a really interesting story about how a song is written.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's not that interesting. It's basically they recorded wrote and recorded on a Saturday in the spring of '82 at the basement studios of EMI's London headquarters, and basically they got there kind of at different times of the day, and as each band member arrived, they brought a component, and like one, Andy Taylor said he was fiddling with some technology. Nick Rhodes came up with the backing track in the car. Simon Le Bon was working the lyrics, and they all then just kind of brought it together.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a very boring story about how this song was written.
It's not. Yeah.
Thanks, Duran Duran.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say that the laugh at the beginning of the song and the moans during the song's fade out were performed and recorded live by Rhodes' girlfriend at the time.
Oh, no kidding. There you go. That's
Yeah.
something I did not know.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to that. It's right here. Yeah,
I mean that's a girlfriend laugh, definitely.
it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing there, given the topic of the song. and all
Well,
that,
I mean,
but
if you're a hungry wolf, probably you're gonna giggle.
there you go. That's you're.
Yeah, famously they
Or
giggle.
if you're
when they're hungry.
stalking a woman, maybe she's
Right.
laughing at how fun it is.
John Taylor, according to Wikipedia,
Yeah.
has stated that he doesn't really know what the lyrics mean, speculating that the song is probably about meeting girls and or wanting to have sex with someone.
Yes, classic.
Which I can see that. I mean, it's very
there is-
subtly about that.
There is the whole, your juice is like wine type of thing,
yeah.
right?
Which, ew?
There's a whole, I don't understand smell like I sound.
No.
Lost in
No,
a crowd.
nor do I.
Yeah. There's a couple of lyrics I didn't know. I never knew straddled line and discord and rhyme. I never understood what that was being said there.
No. Nor
anyway.
did I.
This line right here.
Discord and rhyme, I'm on the hunt, I'm after.
So I never quite knew what that was. But I didn't.
No, I never
don't
heard
have
Straddle the Line.
I don't have a cool misheard version of it though. I was just like, I don't know what that is.
Right.
But yeah, Duran Duran, man, with this song, this was kind of the song that started it all, which makes it a pretty good representative of where they started achieving essentially Beatlemania levels of fame. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah. No, they were fucking huge.
this was a band that's right in the middle of that second British invasion wave. They were kind of one of the bands leading that charge. And as I mentioned, like, girls were all about this band. Like, I know my friend Jenny knows all the birthdays of the 5 members of the band.
Nice.
Marcia was very much into this band. So the teen heartthrob factor was very high, which is a very 80s type thing. And I don't think we're going to be saying that about Elvis Costello as it,
No, that's true.
And they were very much on magazine covers, and MTV heavy rotation. I don't know if you're ready to talk about this video yet.
Oh, I am beyond ready to talk about this video.
Let's talk about it.
So, you remember when we talked about View to a Kill, we talked about how just bad it was, and the fact that they shoehorned these guys into a James Bond kind of
like they edited
story.
them into footage from the actual movie onto the Eiffel Tower, the whole chase scene.
Yeah. And what I didn't know is apparently that wasn't driven by the Bond people. I'm going to guess that must have been driven by the band because this video,
yes,
they are doing D-grade Indiana Jones ripoff stuff here.
Yeah, that's fair. But they spent a shitload to shoot this entirely on location in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
No sound stages, no blue screens, none of that cheesy shit. Like, they went there and got real footage there. But yes, you're right.
They
it
did.
is Indiana Jones-ish, or like LeBon's character is kind of going for that, right? Yeah.
He's got the fedora. He is meant to be an Indiana Jones style adventurer. He's running around. He's wading through a river. He's being chased by his other bandmates who are the bad guys. I guess.
Are they trying to find him? Maybe I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's
although
making
they're
out
dressed like they're on fucking Miami Vice,
right?
Which is crazy.
Entirely.
Like
they couldn't be bothered to get a costume.
Right? Is it Andy Taylor who's running around wearing a Don Johnson blazer but no shirt under it?
I believe
like
it is.
headband?
Although I couldn't pick these guys out of a lineup. To be fair.
That's true. I needed Marcia or somebody to help me discern who was who. Yeah. Other than LeBon.
Right.
If they're not holding their instruments, I don't know who they are, right?
Right. Yeah, no, because they're all this like, they're pretty and they have feathered hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like us back then.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. There's lots of making out with quote unquote exotic women, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
Quote unquote. There's
folks from that
a
region, let's say.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's a native boy who revives Simon Le Bon by squeezing water from a towel down his throat.
That did not look appetizing, and that they made that as clean as they could for that video shoot, I'm sure. But it still looked like something I would never want to happen. Like, have another person take a towel or a rag and dunk it, and then bring it over and squeeze it out into my mouth. It just made me cringe.
Sorry, that's just not sanitary. Yeah. And then Simon Le Bon has some makeup on, and he gets scratched, and it's just it's a lot of silly foofing around.
They're running around. They're definitely trying to make it very cinematic, very much like a film. At least it is not them on a soundstage lip syncing.
I suppose. And it had ambitions.
This was something that we had not really seen before in music videos.
It's true.
We saw some earlier music videos in a very recent show with Rod Stewart, right? God. And the Young Turks video, and and then a bunch of like we saw recently the Stevie Nicks video where it's like a performance video with some bad acting thrown in the middle.
I mean, yeah, this was marginally better acting than in that one. But I mean, just marginally.
But yeah, so he is on the hunt. He's after her, I guess. And then that culminates in him finding her.
Right.
And then they have this moment that is a game that I play with my dog called Bitey Face, where they are doing that wide open mouth things that dogs do when they go to bite each other on the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are doing it. And I have already, Joe, captured a still of that and put it in the post for this show. So
nice.
That I think everyone has, even I had seen this video before.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I think everyone has seen it. I think you'll know what I'm talking about. But
Friday night videos, man. I remember this being on there.
Yeah, I posted a still of it anyway, just so that you could see that bitey face moment, which it feels like it's the climax of the thing, because they show it a couple times and they freeze frame it.
Yeah.
With the I mean, it's mouth is alive, I guess, is what that's trying to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The mouth is alive and open and just dripping stuff.
But yeah, for 12-year-olds like us in America at that time, this was apparently like the shit.
Yeah.
Like this synth-driven new wave sound and these pretty boys and this fun, like, globe-trotting cinematic experience just really worked for 11, 12, 13-year-olds.
Yep.
Back then, and they just exploded after that,
They were scraping us off the walls.
I mean, the thing about Duran Duran is they weren't just successful in the 80s. They kind of are part of that group that we've talked about that defined what this decade looked like and sounded like in this country.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, no, their look was hugely influential, and and their aesthetic. I mean, the fact that they are so associated with those Nagel prints, right?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how to describe the woman with the ink drawing and then the bright color, the neon colors on there.
Yeah.
And they used them for their album covers, and it's just that is like the 80s-est image you could have, and it's there. I mean, it's like aligned so perfectly with them.
It is, yeah. So, and that's a great observation that I hadn't made. But that was good to bring that up in here, because that is a big part of it too. That look, and they just, for me and a lot of people, like, they are the 80s in a big way, like this band. And they had a couple more hits in the 90s when they got back together. But I mean, really, a great song, Ordinary World, came out in the 90s, if you know that one.
That's a good song.
And Come Undone, great song in the 90s. But the big stuff, those 12 hits and another 5 or 6 songs that didn't hit the top 40, but you would know to hear them, just defining kind of icon column that holds up the 80s for me. But I don't have a ton more to say about this song. I mean, it's synthy. It's got those drums that I won't talk about the overproduction of but yeah, it's got a lot, like those big toms, like boom, 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 boom. Very definitely does not sound like a jazz drummer, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah. So the sound, the look, all of it, super 80s. Do you have anything else you want to say about Hungry Like the Wolf, though? Because we could beat this into the ground for an hour, but
I mean, I think I've said my piece. I think I'm good on this.
All right, well, let's talk about Veronica then, and Elvis Costello in general. And Elvis Costello, I mean, a lot of people would list him as an influence. In the music world, and maybe not an 80s-esque type influence, but definitely an underground kind of, he wasn't mainstream. He was cooler than that.
Okay, so hang on one second. So
Yeah.
because mainstream pop culture stuff, right?
Yeah.
Two things pop to mind. First off, very, very famously, he was on SNL
Yeah, right.
in the late 70s and
Got banned.
was notorious. He got banned because he stopped his song just a few bars in and played something else that he wanted to play instead.
That was awesome. I've
Which got
seen
him in
that
big
video,
trouble. Yeah, and has been, and that moment has been referenced in subsequent SNL appearances and
then
all over the place.
like the ban eventually got lifted.
Yeah.
And he came back on, and when he was starting to play, I think he pulled like a fake, like he was doing it again, kind of a bit.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was
And-
yeah.
and then he interrupted a Beastie Boys performance and had
that's
them
right.
play one of his songs, which was also pretty awesome.
that is really awesome, actually.
Yeah. And then the other pop culture thing is I have a very clear recollection of an early issue of a comic called X Factor. And one of the heroes, his hipster girlfriend buys him an outfit and says he looks like Elvis Costello with muscles. So like before I really was into Elvis Costello, I have that memory.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was. I mean, you know, maybe he was not Duran Duran level famous.
No,
he didn't hit
not
the
in
pop
the
charts,
80s.
but he was a known
I
quantity.
feel like he was known because, like we said, he had some hits in the 70s. He was
Yeah.
obviously big enough to play on SNL, right? So,
right.
it's not like, I don't think he's an unknown. I think he was not for everyone. I don't think he was the mainstream kind of lowest common denominator stuff, right? He was more of
Fair
a
enough.
cerebral and more of an alternative and kind of a post-punk new wave underground type guy, right? And,
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think he's great. I just
Right.
didn't feel like he fell into the because I was going just by number of hits. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't
Right,
have
right,
him
right.
ranked.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
like REM before and like Talking Heads, he's more of a college radio
Yeah.
kind of presence than mainstream charts.
And you'd find him not at the mall record store, but at that
No.
other record store that's off in a hole in a building that used to be a house.
right.
Like he's in the indie record store.
Fair enough.
And like music journalists know this guy and would write about
Yeah.
him and
But-
his
but-
influence. Yeah.
This song, Veronica, broke through in 1989. And it broke through in part because probably because of the presence in the songwriting of Paul McCartney, who also on that same album wrote a song called Pads, Paws, and Claws, and another one called This Town. Two other really good songs off that album. The whole album is a great album, but
Here's
Those-
Pads, Paws, and Claws.
okay.
Let's go. We'll go.
Bats, paws, and claws. And if he should wake up in some terrible dive, and he don't know.
Well, you had this album, right, Joe? So you.
I did. Oh yeah, I had this album. I listened to this album a lot.
Yeah.
This is. I've talked before about how in 1989 I started listening to music that was not straight off the pop charts, and
Right.
this is one of the albums that did that for me. This, along with They Might Be Giants, Lincoln, and REM's Green, probably the
Yeah.
three albums that most influenced how I would listen to music in the 90s, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the other song on here that you said? This Town?
Oh, This Town.
Oh, right. This was on the college radio episode because it has two sets of ellipses in it. It's
Right.
ellipses, This Town, ellipses. And,
Nobody in this town. Nobody in this crowd.
now, did you say McCartney was part of writing this song as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
These three songs, and then Elvis Costello co-wrote some songs on one of McCartney's albums around the same time.
Oh, okay.
Kind of traded services there.
Yeah. Was it any of the McCartney songs that we might know off the top of our heads or anything like
No,
that?
definitely not.
Just checking. I mean, I didn't know because that can happen where you're like,
It's
oh,
true.
I didn't know McCartney helped write Veronica until today.
Yeah.
So, I became aware of this song, I think, in college, but it might not have been until 1990. And experientially. And hearing Pump It Up, I know I definitely had heard it either in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
But I did not know whose song that was,
Right.
So for me, and my exposure to Elvis Costello came later. So just experientially, he wasn't part of my 80s, but totally valid for someone like Denny or you who actually was listening to him during the decade. I get it. It just wasn't part of mine. Yeah. And, I'll be honest, I know like a half dozen of his songs. I like them all. And then, you give me another one and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool tune. But yeah.
Speaking of cool tunes, you asked me earlier what my favorite Elvis Costello song is.
Is it on Spike?
It is not. Although I love that an album as a whole. Probably my favorite of his is "Accidents Will Happen," which is a great song.
Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Here we go.
That's it. So this is earlier Elvis Costello, a little bit raw.
Yeah. Let me jump ahead to what I assume is the chorus.
He also did a great cover of What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. It's possibly more famous than the original.
Yes.
And that was a good one.
Later not in the 80s, he also did a cover of She. I don't know hang on, I can't think while I'm listening to another song. But yeah, if I go to Elvis Costello's artist page, his actually most played song on Spotify is...
Spotify.
If I...
right.
And I listened to this earlier, and I was like, hey, this is a really good rendition of this song.
It really is. And it hit big because it appeared in a movie. And I don't remember what movie.
Oh, okay.
Was it Notting Hill?
Notting Hill? This song
Hill.
is big in Notting Hill for sure.
Yeah.
And that's his version that's in there? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And that's mid-90s-ish?
That came out in 2000.
Oh, okay. And maybe this is one of the things he got an award for. I don't know. But anyway, so, he is not an unknown, for sure. He's got some great work.
One last thing on him. If you're looking for a good album of his, he got 10 million good albums. All of his stuff in the 70s, Armed Forces, fantastic album. But one of my favorites that I think is probably underappreciated is his 1994 release, Brutal Youth. So if you get a chance, if you're looking for some Elvis Costello to listen to, Brutal Youth I think is a good one. Again, so many great albums in the 70s. My Aim Is True is fantastic. This year's Model, Armed Forces, all great albums. His first three albums, like just bam, bam, bam out of the gate, were fantastic. But I have a personal love for Spike and Brutal Youth.
Some great titles on this Brutal Youth. My Science Fiction Twin.
That's a good one.
20% Amnesia. These are great. But yeah, anyway, Clown Strike. That's a great name for a song.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the video for Veronica.
Let's talk about this video.
Because it was an award-winning video.
Yeah.
So
So Veronica is a kind of a really personal song. He did co-write it with Paul McCartney, but the lyrics, most of the lyrics he wrote before, and it was kind of about his experience of spending time with his grandmother as she suffered from Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Her name was Molly, or Mabel Josephine Jackson, but they called her Molly. But her Catholic confirmation name was Veronica.
So
there it is. The video starts with him in what looks like a wrecked building. It's like it's supposed to be the a wrecked version of the nursing home where she was.
Yes.
And it's just him talking for a bit about his experience with his
there's
grandma.
a non-album vocal where he's introing it.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No. It's just what's also fascinating is if you watch this whole video, there are places, because it's the song, but then he also seems to be singing along live.
I'm telling
to it,
you, that's exactly the note I have. Is he sings along live to his master? The master is playing,
right?
And then there are parts where you're getting him live singing. He doesn't live sing the whole song. He sings phrases of it, though.
Right.
And this is an extremely unusual practice, but it's super effective. I found it to be really powerful.
I fucking love that. And I've never seen this video before.
Me neither. Yeah. And for a song I've listened to a bunch of times, I failed to recognize what it was about, and I also failed to ever see this video. But I thought it was a really good video, very moving, kind of a...
It's such a catchy, poppy, happy sounding song.
Yeah.
But and then just if you're really listening to the lyrics, you're like, oh shit, that's depressing as hell.
Yes. It kind of is. But and then at the end he also has like an outro.
Right.
But in between it's like flashes of this woman's life. She's young, she's middle-aged, she's all over the place. She's old, Right.
Yeah, the video just kind of bounces around through her life like it's showing how probably her mind was bouncing around her history.
Right. Some of the lyrics kind of allude to that, like, spend time with her in whatever time she's in, right at that moment, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, it's heavy stuff, but and wrapped up in a poppy, like you said, package.
Yeah.
You didn't see it coming, but it gets you, and that's why it won a video, the best male video for that year of 1989. So
yeah. That, I mean, again, that singing along with it live, just I've never seen someone do that before.
This is the only time I've ever seen it.
Yeah, and I just dug that so much.
Yeah, I would encourage listeners to click on the Veronica video link. You've seen "Hungry Like the Wolf" a million times.
You definitely have.
But it'll be there. But click on this one and check that out. Very different video and a very different performance. Very heartfelt.
Yeah.
And I love that he's not lip syncing. That you get the way he sang it in that room on that day. And they layered it over.
Yeah.
And
so good.
It really works. Yeah. Well, Joe, you have anything else for Veronica?
I don't. Look, we all know what's going to happen here.
Well, let's get to that verdict then.
All right.
And we kind of know that 3C Duran Duran is odd, and they are the favorite today. So that means I will go first when the favorite's odd. And Joe, I'm going to render my verdict, but first I will say, hey, props. Elvis Costello is a great artist, and I like him very much. But there's no universe where I'm voting for him here. I'm going Duran Duran all the way. They're the architects of the look and sound and vibe of the 80s. Among a small group, they belong to me up with Springsteen and Madonna and those folks in the architect of the 80s.
Yeah.
Pantheon or whatever. Anyway, I'm going Duran Duran. Joe, what would you like to say?
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes it's just a crapshoot where two artists get matched up. If Elvis Costello had been up against, Air Supply, Kenny Rogers, I might have been able to justify a vote. But no, I'm voting for Duran Duran. Yeah. Even though I love Elvis Costello so much more.
And I'll be honest, I like specifically between these two songs, I like Veronica more as a song.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is not as 80s as Hungry Like the Wolf.
All right.
So that's where we ended up. And we'll see what happens. I don't think Elvis is going to get out of this one, buddy.
This might not be Bob Seger 2, but we'll have to see.
Bob Seger's still sitting at 0% as of
goddamn
today.
fucking right he is. Yeah, but
maybe
folks,
Denny goes for Elvis.
I got my doubts on that one.
But anyway,
but folks, if you want to tell us why I'm stupid for having Elvis Costello on here, you can do that on our Substack by going to the 80zest.substack.com and just vent your spleen at me. Fucking go ahead.
Let it go. Let it all go.
Yeah. You can also find us on Blue Sky by searching for the 80zest podcast. That's us.
Yep. And, if you want to come and listen to some Loverboy who you thought should be here instead, I know there's a big groundswell for Loverboy. You can listen to Loverboy. Find us on Spotify, though. We have all of our playlists up there. We would also love if you would click on the share button on your subscriber emails and, get into some real 80s debates with your high school and college friends who are insufferable, who have all the wrong opinions, and
have we thought about maybe changing that to a share CHER button?
Oh,
maybe
shit.
they get more hits.
Oh, yes.
That's your share impression?
I don't have one ready. I'm sorry. That's shitty. Well, anyway, thank you guys for listening, but that is all the time we have for today. Please, I implore you, join us next time on the 80sist when we will be on Upset Watch, Joe, as the Stevie Wonder Bomb 7 seed. I just called to say I love you.
God damn it.
Takes on the underdog Miami Sound Machine's 10 seed. Rhythm is going to get you. That could be an upset in the making, Joe.
It could.
Find out next time on the 80sist. Well, until then, on behalf of Joe Walk, this is Keith Marsteller saying...
Okay, Keith, sorry. Actually, sorry.
Yeah.
Before we go, did you know we finally made it through a show without you telling me that it's not my fault?
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
I think that call by Al Michaels can only be used to commemorate the 1980 U.S. men's Olympic hockey team, man. Show some respect. Speaking of the Miracle on Ice, if I'm not mistaken, the 1980 Winter Olympics opening ceremonies were the penultimate time in your life that you have vomited, starting a non-hurling trend that would see you only blow chunks one more time in the next 45.5 years.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is miraculous because I don't know anyone who made it through college without puking, and then you somehow survived 7 months of chemo without spewing also. That's a seriously impressive non-Ralphing streak.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
So I'm getting the sense we should just finish the show since I've run out of synonyms for barfing, and you are non-responsive. Let's listen to the tape of the Miracle on Ice to close out the show. For that to happen, though, I guess I would actually have to stop talking about upchucking.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Are you saying it would take a miracle for me to stop talking?
Do you believe
Don't answer that.
Oh, okay.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
I remember that, one of the most iconic sports moments in Team USA Olympic history. The Miracle on Ice was February 22nd, 1980. The game between the Americans and the then Soviet Union in Lake Placid, New York. The Russians were the hockey powerhouse of the world, and against all odds, a bunch of college kids on Team USA took them down 4-3 in the semifinal game, to the delight of Americans across the country, that's for sure, and especially those in upstate New York. Great. There's some partying going on there, and you can tell the footage. Team USA advanced to the gold medal game against Finland, scoring 3 times in the third period for a come-from-behind amazing victory in order to complete the run that nobody really saw coming and win gold.
You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Joe, do you remember the Miracle on Ice? Was that something you were aware of at the time?
Oh, very well. Yeah, I was having dinner in my grandparents' trailer. I remember it was on the TV as we ate, and we got really excited when that happened.
Awesome.
How about you?
Well, like I a couple days or maybe a week earlier is when I had vomited at age 9 there. My grandpa got me a 3-scoop strawberry ice cream cone at Baskin-Robbins after a full dinner, and it was more than my 9-year-old 40-pound body could hold.
Yeah.
And I puked, and then I didn't puke again until December of 2009, just a couple of weeks shy of my 30th year of non-vomiting, and then I have not puked again since. But some food poisoning on the way home from New Zealand got me.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, yeah, I remember watching that. I feel like I was allowed to stay up late to watch that. I don't know when it was on, but I guess you were watching it during dinner time, so maybe...
I mean, but we often ate at 1 a.m., so...
But yeah, just a incredible kind of moment where nobody dies, so I love those kind of bring those moments on the show.
Right.
Do you have a non-vomiting streak you want to bring up since it's a topic of the close here?
No.
All right, cool.
No. I don't puke all the time, but I definitely don't go like a decade in between.
Once in 45 and a half years is not very often. So
that's not very often,
I'll
man.
take
Congratulations on that.
Yes, thank you. Do you believe in miracles? That non-vomiting streak is one. Anyway, that's going to be our show for tonight. Joe, thanks very much for playing along.
Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, good night.
Good night.